give me a second here. Sorry for starting a little late. Rocky all of a sudden got sick, so I had to go clean that up and take care of that. Hey, Dream on Wheels, thank you for stopping in. Let me try out one of my banners. I know I put you on here. Nate, thank you for tuning in. I know I have one for you as well. I'm starting to learn a little bit more about this StreamYard. So I'm just going to give it another minute here, give or take. I usually don't have very many people showing up to the live streams, but I want to make sure that anyone that's tuning in makes it. Camp Maintenance Guy, thank you for tuning in. Um, for those interested, though, Rocky is fine. He occasionally just gets sick. I don't know. Um, it might be his Lyme disease that he tested positive for. Uh, yeah, just every couple weeks, he ends up getting sick. So he's fine. He's actually currently eating, so all is well there. And without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right in then. That's about a minute. So I gotta say, I just want to start out. I got a video I'm gonna be showing you guys later on here, and I did not edit the video in any way, shape, or form. I'm not trying to persuade anyone when it comes to spiritual or religious, um, nothing along those lines. I am just taking my experiences and sharing them with you as I often do with museums and everything else. And I will let you guys decide what you ultimately think is going on. So I know, talking about Land Cloud Adventures, actually, he purchased my book, Discomfort, the Key on Your Best Life. And in the book, I talk a little bit about some experiences I had growing up that may or may not have been spirits. I didn't know if it was ghosts or if it was just a crazy childhood imagination. Because let's face it, the ghost under my bed or the monster in the closet, all that kind of stuff, it's a pretty typical thing for children. But as I've traveled across the country, I've kind of dug a little deeper into that spiritual realm. I've never personally been someone who's religious, but when it comes to the spiritual, the ghosts, stuff like that, I've always kind of had my curiosity there. So I've been visiting a lot of places on um, the show Ghost Adventures. And you guys, you've seen, I've uploaded places like the Haunted Yuma Prison, Grand Canyon Caverns. I've been to quite a bit. And while sometimes I'd have weird feelings at them, I've never really had any experience that made me go like, oh my God, I completely believe in ghosts now. Up until Friday. But before we jump into what happened Friday, I want to bring you guys back to my Las Vegas vacation. So, two of the things I did while in Las Vegas was I stayed at the most haunted casino and hotel in Las Vegas. And that is the Hotel Apache, located in the Binions Hotel up by Fremont Street. It was established in 1932, and it was a result of the Hoover Dam project. Because of this, it was actually the first casino and hotel to offer air conditioning, carpet, and an electric elevator. Because of this, it became a very popular hotel and casino. And over nearly 100 years, many reports have been made. It's another location that has been shown on Ghost Adventures, and a lot of mediums and ghost hunters go to this hotel and say that it has a very high level for spiritual activity. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to try this out again. So we arrive to the hotel and we are staying in room number 350. And it turns out that in the past, a guest left a report saying that the bathroom cabinet kept becoming unlocked, even though they were constantly locking it. And there's actually, give me a second here, there's actually pamphlets at the hotel for you to write stuff down. So they had all kinds of reports from just people that have stayed in the hotel. Like, for example, everything I'm going to talk about tonight, I could have put this on and turned it into the hotel, but I thought it was kind of a cool souvenir. So I just kept it and we're going to do the YouTube video. And plus, when I left the hotel, I really didn't think I had too many crazy experiences. I was still questioning it. But yes, we check into the hotel and our room no longer has a bathroom cabinet. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But it was in the bathroom at one point apparently. So I'm going to try to find some evidence, something along those lines. Well, there wasn't anything to really do. I didn't have any ghost hunting equipment that's actually proper. So what can I do? I'm just a normal person with pretty much little to no knowledge on ghosts. And that's when we went to the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum. Now, for those who don't know who Zach Bagan is, he is actually the creator and head investigator on the show Ghost Adventures. And he owns a museum in Las Vegas where just hundreds upon thousands of items from all the episodes ever made, he brings them to this museum, which was also in a haunted house. And this haunted house, in particular, the museum, used to be used, I believe, in the 1940s for demon rituals in the basement. There was actually a red pentagram on the basement, but I won't go too deeper into that because I will be posting videos on the history of these locations, but I want to give you guys kind of the gist of it as we move forward into this live stream. So I go through, I do the haunted museum. I've had some pretty weird experiences there. And upon coming to the gift shop, I find that they have a spirit box. And let me tell you right now, there is a reason I am not showing this spirit box on camera to you guys. It has reached a point where I am no longer comfortable touching it or being around it. It's currently sitting on my table. It better stay there because if it moves again, I'm gonna lose it. But yeah, I'm getting very uncomfortable with it. I try not to touch it for the most part now. But I bought the spirit box from the haunted museum and I brought it back to Hotel Apache. I then spent all night trying to communicate with the spirits. Never got anything. Hours upon hours went by, and for those who don't know what a spirit box is, it's basically, imagine like my phone here, something about this size, and it's a radio that just basically scans through all the radio stations rapidly. Just like in your vehicle when you press seek and it scans and it stops and it scans and it stops. It's like that, except it never stops. It just constantly scans and scans and scans and scans unless something communicates through it. So hours upon hours go by all night long. Nothing happens. I go to bed. We only stayed one night, so the next morning I get up and I get the spirit box out. And my aunt at this point, I also bought a Ouija board at the Haunted Museum. I had 3 messages on my phone from people. Do not use the Ouija board. My aunt was like, okay, I'm leaving the room. I don't feel comfortable. Like, she wanted no part of that. She left the hotel room. She did not want to be in there when I was doing this stuff. So I go into the bathroom and I shut the lights off and I have the spirit box basically right here. And I'm just, can you please unlock the bathroom door? How old are you? Are you here? Am I bothering you? And I just keep asking these questions over and over and over again. And I'm not getting anything. Hours upon hours go by. Nothing's happening. My aunt comes back and we have to check out in an hour. So I figure, you know what? I'm not getting anything in the bathroom. Let's try the rest of the room. I go into the corner of the room, in a corner of a room. I set it down on the floor. I sit down crisscross applesauce, and I'm just asking the same questions over and over again. Are you here? Am I bothering you? How old are you? Are you male? Are you female? What's your name? And I'm just asking over and over and over and over again. About a half hour of doing this on the floor, all of a sudden, it stops on a channel for about 5 seconds. Not supposed to stop. Again, it's supposed to keep scanning. It stopped for about 5 seconds and I heard something come through. The weird part was, yes, you could occasionally hear, like if it's a radio station that has music, that will come through as well. But all these hours I was doing it, I never hit a station right there. And after this experience, I never hit a station again. So something came through. It caught me off guard so bad that I just looked at it right away and was like, what the hell? And I'm kind of getting creeped out at this point. I don't know what I just heard. I haven't experienced this. I've probably done this for like 12 hours now, and this is the first time anything like that's happened. Little weird. But okay, we got to check out. We got to get going before we get billed for a second night. So I put the spirit box back in the original box and I put it in my suitcase. I'm then kind of complaining to my aunt, like, oh my God, this entire time and nothing happened. Like, oh, it's so haunted. And that's when the main light to the room started flickering slowly for probably 10, 20 seconds. And I go to my aunt and I'm like, oh, the light's flickering. Oh no, we're in trouble. And as soon as I made that joke, the light started flickering faster. It is just rapidly flickering at this point. And as we start to walk out of the room, I'm like, okay, this is getting weird. I'm starting to get the chills a little bit, like the hair standing up on my arms. I'm starting to get a little nauseous, like just getting some weird vibes all around. So we're walking out of the room. All of a sudden, it's like the light just burnt out, or just like the entire room was dark. It was like there was no light on in the room. But when you looked at the cover to the light, the cover was completely yellow still, like the light was on, but it was just rapidly flickering. And I'm like, okay, I'm assuming at this point, bad light bulb. I mean, can be explained, right? Can't. I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh my God, it's a ghost right away. Could be a bad light bulb. Easy peasy. So at this point, we go about our vacation, blah, blah, blah. We come back. I arrive back in Michigan and I'm just kind of talking to my aunt about the room and how I kept hearing banging on occasion when I was in the bathroom, like just a quick bang and then nothing else. And my aunt's like, yeah, I heard that once too. And I heard furniture moving in the other room. And the front desk said nobody was in that room. And I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting that you point that out, because I woke up at 4 in the morning and had to use the restroom, and the room connected to ours, I could see the light was on underneath the door. And then when I came back from the bathroom, the light was off. So I'm like, okay, they say that nobody's in there, but maybe they're just trying to, like, oh, we're haunted. Please come stay by us, publicity. So I'm still thinking, like, okay, it's not ghosts, whatever. But then my aunt's like, did you smell anything in that room? No, I didn't. I didn't smell anything at all, not even slightly. And she's like, really? Because to me, it just, I don't know how else to explain it. And I didn't want to creep you out, but it smelled like something was rotten. Like, I genuinely think something died in that room. She's like, I don't know if it was like a mouse or it smelled rotten in that room. I couldn't stand it in there. And I'm like, okay, I'm still not going to be like, oh my God, it's a ghost because I don't know. I don't know what to believe, okay? So we come back and we're in Upper Michigan, like I was saying, and a week goes by and I open up my suitcase and I'm going to start unpacking. I grab the spirit box out of the suitcase for the first time since I put it in there from Hotel Apache. I touched it, I grabbed it, and I brought it to a small end table next to my bedroom. I put it on the table and I walk into my bedroom, and immediately the light right above me starts flickering for about 5 seconds, and then it stops. And it hasn't flickered since. It never flickered prior to this. It was only that one time that the light flickers. And I'm like, oh, okay. Second time, I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of weird. I messaged my aunt, tell her about it. I'm like, kind of weird. Still don't know what to believe though. I'm like, whatever. Bad bulb, something, something. It's still explainable. I'm sure there's a logical explanation. Well, then one night when I was working in the gym, I was working the 9 to midnight shift. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and I brought the spirit box over there. This is the second time I have now touched it since since leaving the hotel. I bring it over, I put it on the work desk, and I do my quick round to see if there's anybody in the building and make sure that everything's going all right. I put it down on the desk, and as I walk away and head upstairs, one of the lights right above me on the stairs starts flickering for again about 5 seconds. Hasn't flickered since, never flickered prior to that. Flickered that one time. So then again, I'm like, okay, am I going crazy here? Am I just imagining things? Is it just a coincidence? I don't know. But at this point, the fact that it's kind of happened 3 times, it's got me a little curious. And as I'm messaging this to my sister and my aunt, I'm taking a picture of the hallway in the college because I'm doing my shift. It's 9 to midnight, so only the security lights are on in the hallway. It looks like something straight out of a horror movie. And as I go to take a picture to show them what it looks like in there, the light in front of me, the security light, starts flickering. Hasn't flickered since, never flickered prior. It was that one time. Okay, I'm getting creeped out now. 4 times. Coincidence? Bad bulbs? I don't know. The fact that it's happened 4 times rapidly and it's always right after I touch the spirit box. I don't know what you guys believe, but living it, I'm starting to get creeped out a little bit. So fast forward, and nothing else is happening with the lights anymore. But I'm also not touching the spirit box anymore. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm sick of it. Until the one day I was like, okay, about a week goes by again. And I'm like, I'm gonna try the spirit box in the dorms because everybody's gone now. All the college students are gone. I have a little bit of free time. I'm going to try the spirit box in the dorms now that I have an SD card and can record off of it. So let's see if I can find and record any evidence. Hey, Georgianne. Thank you for stopping in. So, yeah, I got an SD card that works in it now. It records the audio, and I try it in the dorms for about an hour. Nothing happens. But then fast forward, it is 11 o'clock at night that day, and me and Rocky are just laying in my bed when all of a sudden, I kid you not, and I'm still trying to find an explanation. So if somebody, like anybody who's watching this right now, or if you are rewatching this, if you can come up with an explanation, please comment, because it would definitely calm my nerves a little bit. I'm laying in bed with Rocky, and I kid you not, my shower turns on full blast. And it stays on for, I don't know, 2, 3 minutes, just running full blast. And then all of a sudden it just shuts off. And I'm like, okay. Part of me right away is like, was there just water stuck in the system type of deal and it shot out? But if that's the case, why did it last so long? And again, hasn't happened since, never happened prior. When I was a student here, I've never had that happen. So I'm getting creeped out. I put the flashlight on my phone and I go to check out the bathroom. Rocky, at this point, actually, very important to mention this, Rocky is cowering. Now, as you guys have probably heard in my other videos, Rocky has been abused by his first owner. So when I tend to raise my voice, things like that, on occasion in the past, he would cower. That's the only time I've ever seen him cower, is when he thinks he's in trouble or knows he's in trouble. But all of a sudden the shower comes on and he's cowering. I can't get him out of the bedroom, so I gotta go check it out. As soon as I walked through the door frame into the bathroom, the hair on my arm stood up and I got goosebumps because it was so freezing cold and I got nauseous. I'm not liking this at all. I look, there's water all over on the shower floor, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm going back to bed. I'm not liking this. I go back to bed. And then the other day, I was playing Phasmophobia, a game I've live streamed in the past. It's all about hunting ghosts and trying to identify what kind of ghost is haunting a home. I'm playing this game and I have the game on my monitor here and I have Facebook on my second monitor. All of a sudden, the game crashes, and then 2 minutes later, Facebook crashes. And then when I reopened the game, it ended up crashing again. Something that, again, has not happened since, never happened prior. Kind of creeping me out. Too many weird things that I cannot explain that are happening one time, and I don't know. Is it my imagination? Is it my nerves? I don't know. And that's why, like, I'm not saying for you guys to believe or not to believe, because I know how crazy it sounds. But I'm telling you, at this point, I am becoming terrified. And then we finally get to Friday. And it was a night that, honestly, I'm almost never experienced that level of fear in my life. I, afterwards, thinking back on it, when I broke down in New Mexico and I was stranded for 10 days and I was trying to remember, in my book, I say like the tow truck was bringing me out to the middle of nowhere in the desert. I was trying to remember every single turn in case I needed to call the police and stuff like that. That same level of fear was what I felt Friday night. I literally almost took Rocky. I Googled what the temperature was outside. I almost took Rocky and slept in my vehicle in the parking lot. I was shaking and almost had tears in my eyes. I was that afraid. So the day goes by. It is a normal day. Nothing is seeming out of the ordinary. But we're laying in bed and it is 11:30 at night. And all of a sudden, I just hear bang, bang, bang. And it's just a bunch of banging coming from my kitchen. So loud and so clear that I genuinely thought that there was somebody in my room, that someone had broken into my suite. So at this point, I'm like, Rocky jumps up from sleep and he's in a state of cowering again. And I'm trying to push him off of the bed and telling him, go check it out, go. And I'm trying to push him, get him to go. I was terrified. I thought someone broke into my room. He wouldn't leave. He got down and started cowering in his bed. And on occasion, he whimpers. I don't know. It did not he never whimpered ever. And the entire time I've had Rocky, he's never whimpered at all. Now all of a sudden, every once in a while he lets out a quiet whimper, and it's like he just stares. And it creeps me out. He stares at the walls, he stares in hallways, and I'm not liking it. So, since he's not going to check out what's going on, I'm looking around for like a baseball bat or some kind of weapon in case someone is in my room. I ended up grabbing my telescope, holding it like a baseball bat, and I came out to check what's going on. As I walk over to my kitchen and the bathroom area, again, immediately I get the chills really bad. My hair standing up, I got goosebumps, and I got super, super nauseous to the point where even after I walked away, for half an hour laying in bed, I felt sick to my stomach. But I go into my kitchen and I go into the bathroom, and nothing is out of the ordinary for the most part. Everything is perfectly as is. I don't know why I heard several loud bangs. I have no idea. But then all of a sudden, I look and I see a painting on the floor next to my main door. And said painting was hanging up on a different wall, not even close to the door. And it had been hanging there for 3 months using 3M. So I'm like, one, how did it fall? And two, how did it get from this wall over here to my main door over here by the kitchen and the bathroom? I'm terrified. I can't explain it. I have no idea what's going on. So I just grab Rocky. I turn the flashlight on my phone, and I rush back to my bedroom. And I get Rocky in bed with me because I want him right next to me. I want him for protection. I don't know what's going on. And as soon as I laid back down, I heard a bunch of loud banging in my kitchen again. I don't know what's going on at this point. I'm just absolutely terrified. Like I said, I practically have tears in my eyes. I'm shaking, and I message a friend quick like, "Hey, are you up? I need to talk to somebody. I'm completely losing it." And we're talking about everything, and he's like, maybe it's trying to communicate to you. So he's like trying to talk me into using the spirit box. Well, the spirit box was on the table with my GoPro from the last time I tried to record some evidence. I go out and it's not on the table anymore. It's back in the suitcase. And I'm like, dude, I'm not touching it. I can't. I'm going back to bed. And I go back to bed, and every so often I hear bang, bang, bang in my kitchen. And Rocky freaks out every time. And then after about an hour of this, it quiets back down, but I'm still getting the chills on occasion, and that nausea is still there. And every now and then, I feel like I'm being watched. I don't know. Is it my imagination again? I don't know. But what was creeping me out even more was every time I felt like I was being watched, I was just kind of laying down. I would ignore it. I was just trying to forget about everything. And Rocky at one point was even snoring. He fell asleep and was snoring. And he would jump awake and stare, deadlocked, right on the bedroom entrance. And this is just absolutely creeping me out at this point. And I got a video here that I took to send to my friend. I told him how Rocky was acting, and I took this very short video to show him how Rocky was reacting. He just was cowering, the whining, the staring at the walls, the staring at the door frame. And I sent this video to him. Let me pull it up for you guys here. It is in portrait mode because I did not expect to post it on YouTube or anything like that. Again, it was on Snapchat and I was just sending it to a friend of mine. So I sent him this video. I'm going to take me off the screen and I'm just going to let it play. It's about a 13-second video. See if you guys notice anything. Okay. So anybody see anything odd in the video here? So at this point, like I said, the lights in the lights in the kitchen, the lights in the living room, those lights are off. The lights in the bedroom are also off. This light right now that is on is strictly from my phone. This is my phone's light. Now, keeping that in mind, let's watch it again. What do you see, buddy? He's creeping me out, and I ask him, what do you see, buddy? And all of a sudden, as I ask that, the lights flicker. The lights are just suddenly flickering. And in person, it didn't flicker. And that is what creeps me out the most about this video, because it flickered in that couple seconds right there, but in person, it didn't flicker. And in like when I sent it to my friend, he didn't even acknowledge that right away. What he told me is that there was a light that dashed across my door. And I'm telling him, like, please tell me you're joking right now. Like, I would hate you, but please, please, please tell me you're joking because I am freaking out right now. And he tells me, no, there is a light that darts past your door. I couldn't watch this video. It took me 2-3 days just to watch this video because I was absolutely terrified to see what he saw. So watch again and watch right here above the door handle. As I ask Rocky what does he see, the lights flicker, and immediately afterwards there is like an orb that kind of just floats out of the door frame. Right there. It just casually flickers, darts away. What is going on? So at this point, I don't know, because there is a couple more. One darts there. Lights flicker, it goes away. There's one there and one up here. So the first time I saw it, like the one down here, I'm like, okay, you know, probably dust. But this one, the fact that it's so carefully just kind of drifts naturally, just casually drifts out of the room almost. And the fact that in that moment I'm asking, what do you see? Rocky is staring at something and the lights flicker all within those couple seconds. I'm losing my mind. And since then, I refuse. I refuse to touch the spirit box. I I refuse to touch the Ouija board. I don't know. Is it my imagination? Could be. Could be that I'm just paranoid, which I'll tell you one way or the other, I am paranoid. The other day, I had the cleaning staff come in and they were cleaning the laundry room. I heard them shut the dryer. I jumped. Literally jumped. That is how jumpy and paranoid and scared I am right now. Diane, yes, yes. That's why I am not I haven't touched this Ouija board in particular, but I am not using it and I'm not going to touch it now because I don't know if whatever this is, because if you ask me personally, living this, yes, I do. I believe in ghosts now, 100%, because I am terrified and I am experiencing like thing after thing after thing that is just super weird and unexplainable, and I don't know. It's just super weird. Though actually mentioning the video that I just showed you guys, that was on my phone. So to get it on my computer in order to show you, I had to spend half an hour today trying to get it to transfer to my computer. For some reason, it just did not want to transfer. And again, that is a problem I have never had. And I tried some other videos, some of which were even minutes long, and they transferred instantly. And I was able to open those files, which they are MP4 files. Now, the video I just showed you guys is also an MP4 file. It's only 13 seconds long. I could not open it for the longest time, and I could not get it to transfer for half an hour. To the point where not only could I not get it to transfer, it crashed my entire gaming PC. It crashed it once, the PC fired back up, and then the second time I tried to do it, it crashed the entire PC. Everything went pitch black, and it stayed that way for 2 to 3 minutes. And then, as soon as I unplugged my phone, the computer fired back up. Like I said, the other videos, some of which were minutes long, they transferred instantly and I could open them. This video that I showed you guys, it just did not want to. Oh boy, that's just a mess right there. It just did not want to open. I have to open it with a special program here. And that just creeps me out. It just, I can't explain it. All of this stuff is becoming way too weird to me. And I don't know what to do. From feeling nauseous and cold to Rocky whining. I brought him to the vet on Thursday because of his whining. I thought maybe the infection or the Lyme disease, maybe that was bothering him now that the medication has been out for a while. We brought him into the vet just this Thursday. They couldn't find anything wrong. They ended up giving him a shot for like some pain relief, thinking maybe he's just sore or something. But literally bringing him to the vet this last Thursday, he was 100% fine. They couldn't find anything. So I don't know. And it's just, he's not acting normal. And like, I know my dog. I know him really, really well. To the point where when I was traveling with my uncle, I'd be like, "Oh, Rocky wants this," and he'd laugh. He'd be like, "How do you know that?" I'm incredibly good with reading his body language, and I know like he also can read my body language and stuff like that. So maybe that's got him a little bit creeped out. I'm sure, in some of these situations. But again, just the shower turning on by itself, the lights flickering, the painting pretty much getting thrown across the room. And yes, that's my thought exactly, Diane. Animals and children, if you do believe in spirits, they're supposed to be very sensitive to spirits, and they're supposed to be able to see them. And Rocky, in general, is a very, very, very intelligent dog. I have never met an animal in general that's so smart. None of the pets I've ever had have been as intelligent as Rocky. So the way that he is acting is creeping me out. And again, the fact that he was cowering, and in the beginning of that video, he is staring deadlocked at the door. And that night, too, that Friday night when everything went crazy, when I say Rocky was cowering, that is an understatement. Rocky could not get close enough to me. He even was hiding behind me. That is how bad he was cowering. And just roll with me here. If something followed me back from the haunted hotel or the haunted museum, if there is such thing as ghosts and something followed me back and this is how Rocky is reacting with it, I think I have reason to be afraid because what is going on? And normally when I use the Ouija board, because I have used Ouija boards in the past, just not this one. Years ago, my family even made our own just a Ouija board game. We like I can't think of wood burned. We burnt wood burned it and never had anything like super crazy or scary happen. But I've gotten into prayers of protection. And for example, if you're using a Ouija board, you might want to use black candles because black candles seem to, or just the color black in general, even seems to absorb bad, the negative, and it keeps the bad spirits away. Where blue candles will help build the connection between our realm and the spiritual realm. So if you're someone who believes in spirits and stuff like that, there's that kind of stuff to it. And the way I've always seen it when I'm doing this kind of stuff is if there are ghosts, I use the protection and it works and I should be good. And if there's not ghosts, well, I use the protection and there's no ghosts, so I'm good. It's a win-win either way, right? Well, when I use the spirit box, and this going full circle now from the beginning of this video, when I use the spirit box, I did not use any prayers of protection. I did not use anything at all because I was new to the spirit box. I didn't know much about it. My time was limited, and I tried to do some research quick online, but I could not find anything specifically about a spirit box. And I was like, okay, well, and this is the kicker. This is why I think Friday, if you believe in spirits, I think this is why Friday night it seemed to get violent all of a sudden and it seems to be toying with me. Going back, remember how I was saying for hours upon hours upon hours. I was trying to get it to do something in my hotel room. Well, Diane is really going to shake her head here. My problem, my problem is when I use the spirit box, not only did I not do prayers of protection or anything because I didn't know how it worked with the spirit box, I actively swore, disrespected, and challenged the spirit. I went into the bathroom since I only had an hour left, right before I heard the thing in the room on the spirit box, and before the hotel room flickered. All that stuff, I actively challenged it. You're stupid. Why can't you open the whole? How come you can't turn on the sink? Turn on the shower. You're so stupid. Frickin' unlock the door. Can't you just do something? You're so worthless. Yeah. Not good. My thoughts back then, knowing provoking a spirit is major bad. Again, because well, I use protection normally because if ghosts are real, spirits are real, I'm good, blah blah blah. My thoughts here was if spirits are real, then provoking spirits must be really bad. And since I'm provoking it, it's going to do something in the hotel room. I'll capture some kind of evidence before I leave the hotel room in an hour. That was my thoughts. And that is what I did for about an hour. And now, just bearing with me, if you're someone who's watching this video and starting to kind of believe a little bit, or prior to this, if you're someone who believes in spirits, knowing everything I've talked about on this live stream, wouldn't it seem somewhat realistic and even logical that the spirit basically being challenged and provoked, then followed me home, is toying with me, and is now getting violent now that a month has gone by? If you're someone who believes in spirits, I don't think that's very far-fetched. And I could tell you, even coming back from Vegas, we were driving back from Minneapolis from our flight, and my aunt said, what would you need to happen? Because I was telling her about all my ghost experiences that I've wrote about in my book. She said, what would it take for you to actually believe? Like, if you don't believe yet, like, what is it going to take? And I just kind of looked at her and I touched her arm quick, and I was like, I haven't had anything severe. Nothing like that. I was like, I need something severe, and I need things that can't logically be explained. And I told her, I don't mean once, I don't mean twice, because coincidences are coincidences. I mean something happening consistently that I cannot logically explain. Now, if you believe in spirits, and the spirit was following me home, that, yeah. I wish I felt that way before Diane, because what I experienced on Friday night, I no longer want severe. I will not touch the spirit box. I will not touch the Ouija board. A matter of fact, I am currently going through everything from the hotel and from the haunted museum. I am going through every little thing, my t-shirts even, and I'm getting them out of my room. I'm bringing them over to my office because I don't want them in my suite anymore. I was a member of Louisville Ghost. Oh, okay. Well, Diane, I might need some advice in the future here because, again, I believe now, and um, I know I can't think of the word right now. You burn it, and it helps cleanse the area. Uh, I just assuming that stuff's true. Um, I can't do that because I would set off the alarms in the dorms. Yes, Sage. Thank you. Thank you. I figured you would probably know what I was talking about. Sage. Yep. I can't do that because it would set off the alarms and actually the entire building in the dorms. Um, the fire alarms in my room are connected to the fire department, even so we'd have the fire department coming up. But it's reached a point where I don't want anything to do with this anymore. Um, so I've heard like crystals are another option. I don't know much about that. I haven't heard of that until recently. I'm going to start doing some deeper research on that to see what I can find and see if it's true at all. And I'm going to try it out. Um, I know salt is supposed to be a big one. Like when you're using a Ouija board, you're supposed to put like salt around the board so nothing could get out, type of deal. And you could do it by door frames. I've thought about putting salt down between the kitchen and the bathroom to trap whatever it is in the bathroom. But I'm also not sure how to feel um, about uh, Rocky and having salt on the floor. We had our largest male member attacked by a demon, knocked him face first up a hill, and left a bloody handprint on his back. And call me crazy, Diane. Uh, Seeking discomfort. I don't know if I wanted something that severe, but that's kind of what I meant when I told my aunt I wanted something severe. Something that, without a doubt, in my mind, would make me feel like ghosts were real, spirits were real. And Friday night, I got that. And yeah, I'm done now. Like, I, 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 I believe. I believe. And I don't know. Again, people might laugh here. People might laugh at me, but like, even on occasion, I'll do this and I'll be like, Spirit, if you're listening right now, please. I mean, no disrespect. I do stuff like that. I just officially creeped out. Um, and I'm not liking it. Not liking it at all. So I think the logical explanation, because a lot of people are thinking it's the haunted museum too, having been with Ghost Adventures and all his stuff coming from haunted locations across the world. Um, a lot of people think that, but I really think if you're gonna believe in ghosts and spirits, I think it was the hotel. I I challenged a ghost and it laughed in my face. And I don't know, Diane, maybe you can confirm or uh, disprove this. I've heard that some ghosts, spirits, in particular demons, if you show fear, they feed off of your fear. And Friday night, it lasted for an hour to even an hour and a half. And after that, I couldn't even go back to bed at until 2 in the morning. Did you buy anything at the Ghost Museum or get anything from the hotel? So the hotel, okay, thank you, Diane. Um, because of that, I've been trying to also kind of limit how afraid I get, but also Friday night I couldn't limit it, and that's the longest and most severe it's ever gotten. So that is another reason why after Friday I'm like, I believe now. Because it's never been that severe and it's never lasted that long. But that's also one of the scariest times I've ever had in my entire life, and that's not an understatement. But going back to your question, did you buy anything at the Ghost Museum or get anything from the hotel? So the hotel in particular, I did grab this. It is down by their front desk. It's for us as guests to fill out if we've had any experiences in our room. You're supposed to fill it out and then give it back to the front desk. And that way they have like a bunch, they have a lists, and they'll be like, this room had this happen. And it's a cool thing, but yeah, I took it from the front desk at the hotel. And then challenging it um, with the spirit box, and then I locked the spirit box in my suitcase and did not take the spirit box back out until I got back home. And the spirit box I bought at the Haunted Museum along with an exclusive Ouija board, and I was what they call an RIP guest. It's an all access pass, so you get to go to the basement and every single room in the museum. I got that ticket thing there. It's hanging on my tree right now. I'm kind of staring at it. I'm not liking it very much. The more I think about the fact I have all this kind of stuff, I'm not liking it. So, yep, I have that, the spirit box, the Ouija board, that little ticket there. And I also have a lanyard that was on that RIP ticket. Now, here's another thing. The past month, what lanyard have I been using for work? I'll give you a hint. It's not my Gogebic Community College one anymore. As soon as I got back from Vegas, I swapped it out for a new lanyard. So, yep, the keys that I use and wear around my neck every single day is a lanyard from the Haunted Museum. And along with that, I also have a t-shirt from the Haunted Museum. So quite a bit. Gather them up, pray over them, and get them out of your house. That's pretty much kind of where I'm at, actually. After Friday, I've spent, overall, I probably spent like $200 on all of this. So it's like, man, $200. But then after how bad of a scare I had on Friday, I'm like, I don't know. I don't like this stuff being around me. Diane, I appreciate that coming from you since I know you know your stuff. My aunt, my family in general has always been big into spirits and horror movies, stuff like that. And my aunt, she told me to do exactly that. Tell the spirits to get out. They are not welcome and have no power there. She keeps joking with me that I keep needing to do that, but I told her I also don't want to piss off the ghost even more or the spirits. I don't want to piss them off because I don't know if at this point I believe they're real and I don't know what's true anymore and what's not. So I'm kind of lost. But if you're telling me to do it, I will absolutely do it. Absolutely, because I'm losing it at this point. Yeah, it's just creeping me out. And the friend I messaged Friday night, hey, are you still awake by chance? He actually reminded me afterwards. He was like, remember when you went to New Orleans and you saw that psychic? And I was like, yeah, what about it? I mean, kind of a random thing to be bringing up right now, dude. And he's like, well, at the end, didn't she warn you that you're part psychic? And that like you and your family, your close family, like you're gonna be spirits are gonna be attracted to you. And he just brought all those memories back. It all flooded back to me. And she genuinely did. I was walking away from her, from the psychic, after she was like told me that I'm part psychic and whatnot. And as I'm walking away, I still have this picture stuck in my head. She just kind of smiled at me and she's like, "You might want to perfect your gift. It can be dangerous. What's out there, stuff like I'm just if it's not obvious even now, it's creeping me out just talking about it. Too many weird things, and the psychic also was the psychic knew things because I didn't believe in psychics. And I was like, well, she's going to try to, based off your age, you're a college student, aren't you? Oh, lucky guess. I thought stuff like that. But she told me other things that she should have never known, and it creeped me out. So the fact that she ended with warning me that spirits are attracted to me, I'm part psychic, that I need to perfect that gift because it could be dangerous and dangerous things are going to be attracted to me. I'm learning, Diane. I'm learning, but I'm learning the hard way. I said that's what it would take for me to learn and for me to believe, and at this point I absolutely do. Um we've been an hour in, a little over an hour here. I'm going to show you guys this video one last time. I know it's very quick and very short, so I'll share it again for you guys if you want to see it for yourself here. And I am going to try to go to bed because I'm honest. Okay, I thought the PC was crashing for a second. I'm jumpy. I'm very jumpy, and that's why I'm just going to kind of end the stream, and I'm going to go to bed while it's a little early still because I don't like being up at 11 o'clock or midnight, and I don't know. I'm absolutely losing my stuff, guys. Absolutely losing my stuff. So yeah, here's the video once more for you guys. So lights flicker. What do you see, buddy? He's staring directly at the door. Lights flicker. Immediately afterwards, an orb. I don't know, guys. I think I'm haunted. I genuinely think something is here. I feel like even now, I feel like something is watching me, something is here, something is in this room with me. So that is my story for you guys. Again, like I said at the very beginning, believe what you want to believe. He edited the video. I'm not going to try to force anything on anybody, spiritual, religious, whatever you guys believe. But something I've always felt with this channel, whether it's museums, whether it's the spiritual, whether it's skydiving when you have a fear of heights, I always try to just be honest and share my experiences with you guys and then leave it up to you guys, and you guys could believe and make your choices based off of my experiences. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. I think tomorrow, one of the things I'm going to do right away tomorrow, I do have to go to my office. I am probably going to take every little thing that came from the Haunted Museum and the Haunted Hotel. I'm going to pack it all up and I'll just bring it over to my office and kind of leave it in my office and see if anything weird happens over there. But then at that point, too, it's also out of my room, and hopefully that makes a difference in some way. Part of me is still like, oh my God, it was $200. It kind of sucks. And the idea, too, is when I bought it, is okay, I've been to all these haunted places across the country. A lot of people I know love those videos, and I always loved going to them and checking them out. But after Friday night, I'm definitely reconsidering, rethinking things just a little bit. So Well, I'm going to head to bed, guys. Thank you again, Diane, for all of the advice you have shared with me tonight. I will keep you guys updated if anything else weird happens. But everybody have a great night. And as always, I'll see you all on the next adventure.